Welcome to War in Ukraine News, with a daily summary of the news for the 24th of December. Ukraine may receive its first F-16 fighters by the end of this year, ISW. Although Rutte did not confirm a timeline for the delivery of F-16s, a recent Estonian Defense Ministry strategy document notes that the Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, and Belgium have already committed to transferring F-6 to Ukraine by the end of the year, ISW analysts wrote. After shooting down 3 Su-34s, Russia has put a pause on the use of tactical aviation and guided aerial bombs, KABs. The enemy is trying to study how it suffered such losses and is looking for ways to counter them, said Natalia Gumenyuk, a colonel in Ukraine's National Guard. The Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Danilov, commented on the recent statement about the mobilization of 500,000 people. It will not happen tomorrow, nor in a month or two. Mobilization of additional 500,000 Ukrainians, which was announced by President Volodymyr Zelensky, will not take place in the near future. As reported by RBC Ukraine, the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, Oleksiy Danilov, on the air of Ukrainian radio, he recalled that those servicemen who are now on the front line need rest. That certain system that has been proposed called rotation. We should have additional military personnel for that, but that doesn't mean it has to happen in a month or two. That's for next year. That's the vision the military has. What the final decision will be known after the approval of certain regulatory and strategic documents that are in the pipeline today. So don't shout now that all 500,000 must be drafted tomorrow, Danilov said. The Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council also noted that it is necessary to provide each serviceman with adequate means of protection, clothing, food, allowances. All this is provided with the funds of our taxpayers, so we must understand that this is the responsibility of everyone and people of military age who must not evade and run abroad from mobilization. What is happening today in some cities when nightclubs, casinos, bars? We have a war, and I want everyone to understand that this is a common cause, the cause of all to participate in the repulsion of the aggressor, who can, directly at the front, and who is engaged in business, pay taxes. It will be extremely difficult for us to maintain this situation, this aggression, he stressed. Mobilization in Ukraine. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, mobilization has been ongoing. Recently, the country decided to change the order of its conduct, and the Verkhovna Rada is drafting a bill to introduce military initiatives. According to Volodymyr Zelensky, the General Staff has asked for an additional mobilization of 450,000, 500,000 people, which will cost Ukraine an additional 500 billion hryvnia. The Secretary of the Verkhovna Rada Committee on National Security, Defense and Intelligence, Roman Kostenko, has said that Ukraine's victory on the battlefield is very unlikely in the near future, the Times reported. At the same time, he said that capitulation to Russia is not out of the question. We should hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. This is the reality, also said the MP Sviatoslav Jurash to the publication. The German opposition supported Ukraine's intentions to mobilize men abroad. There are about 200,000 Ukrainian men of conscription age living in Germany who are not enough in Ukraine to support the country in the defense struggle. This is also a matter of justice for the soldiers who are fighting and their families. These men are here because there is a war going on over there, and they simply have to contribute to ending this war, said Roderick Kiesewetter, a politician from the opposition Christian Democratic Union Party. Preparations have begun for the transfer of the first 18 F-16 airplanes for their delivery to Ukraine, Zelensky said. Patriot anti-aircraft missile systems shot down 3 Russian Su-34 fighters in the south during the day. Occupants promise money to residents of temporarily occupied territories for testifying against Ukraine, Center for National Resistance. Thus, it is reported that in Zaporizhzhia region, the occupation authorities promised to pay aid to victims of Ukrainian aggression. The only condition is, of course, an application for its receipt, which in fact is evidence that allegedly Ukraine has attacked the region and is shelling civilians, the CNS writes. A new draft law on mobilization will be submitted to the Verkhovna Rada in the coming days, Umarov. According to him, it will be a huge cluster of decisions that have been accumulating over the past 2 years. It will, in particular, answer the questions: what will happen to those who are already serving, and what will happen to those whom we want to mobilize? The minister said his goal is to change the paradigm so that service is not perceived as a punishment. Umarov also said full demobilization for the military is possible only after the war. According to him, there will be rules of partial dismissal from service, rest, and vacations for the military. We can use the word demobilization only after the war is over, the minister added. ISW's map of the year's results is now available. Blue shows the territories that Ukraine regained. Red shows the territories that Russia seized. Putin has decided to fight until final victory, Borrell said. According to him, Russia's success depends on attracting more people to the war. And if we do not change course quickly, if we do not mobilize all our capabilities, this will allow Putin to win the war in Ukraine. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the channel.